Thanks a lot for staying with CNN News 18. I'm Shivani Gupta. We're starting with the breaking visuals that are coming in from Karnal, where farmers have broken and crossed the barricades outside the mini secretariat. This is exactly what was feared, that this latest Mahapanchayat of the farmers will also turn into a complete pandemonium and a breakdown of law and order. You can see just the sheer number of farmers that are there at the spot, and they are clashing with the security arrangements and the law enforcement agencies. And these are the visuals that are playing out. Let's go across to Napinder Barar, who's joining us live from Karnal. Napinder, tell us what more is happening.
देखिए, अभी हम इस वक्त जो मिनी सेक्रेटरिएट है वहां पर मौजूद हैं करनाल के, और यहाँ पे तस्वीर आपको दिखाते हैं कि पुलिस ने यहाँ पे भारी भरकम इंतजाम कर रखे थे कि किसानों को आगे ना जाने दिया जाए, लेकिन हुआ क्या, वो तस्वीर आपको दिखाते हैं। लाइव तस्वीरें आप देखिए किस तरह से पुलिस के सारे इंतजाम धरे के धरे रह गए और किसान पूरी की पूरी बैरिकेडिंग तोड़कर आगे चले गए, और पुलिस प्रशासन जो है वो हाथ पर हाथ धरे खड़े रहने के अलावा कुछ कर पाने की स्थिति में नहीं है, क्योंकि इतनी भारी संख्या में किसान यहां पर पहुंच चुके थे कि शायद पुलिस प्रशासन को लगा कि इतनी भारी संख्या के साथ पहुंचे किसानों के साथ निपटना या उन्हें रोक पाना उनके बस में नहीं होगा, और ऐसे में शायद उन्होंने हट जाना मुनासिब समझा। और अभी भी पुलिस के आपको मुलाजिम वहां पे खड़े हुए बैरिकेड के पास एक साइड में खड़े हुए नजर आएंगे। ना तो वाटर कैनन चल पाया, ना ही यहाँ पे टीयर गैस चल पाई, और किसान सीधे सेक्रेटरिएट की तरफ चले गए। पूरे के पूरे बैरिकेड धरे के धरे रह गए। इसके पहले जब अनाज मंडी, जो करनाल की अनाज मंडी है, वहां पर जब किसान एकत्र हुए, वहां पर भी पुलिस ने उन्हें रोकने की कोशिश की कि मंडी से बाहर ना निकलने दिया जाए, लेकिन वहां पर भी पुलिस कामयाब ना हो सकी, नाकाम रही, और किसान वहां से भी निकले और आगे मिनी सेक्रेटरिएट तक पहुंचे और सेक्रेटरिएट के बाहर के लगे बैरिकेड नाके को तोड़कर अंदर भी चले गए। और अब भारी संख्या में किसान यहां पहुंच चुके हैं, और शायद आने वाले समय में यह प्रशासन और सरकार के लिए एक बड़ी चुनौती होगा कि कैसे स्थिति से निपटा जाए, क्योंकि जो किसान यहां पर एंटर कर चुके हैं, यह पक्का धरना यहां पे लग सकता है, तो ऐसे में इन्हें यहां से निकाल पाना आसान नहीं होगा, क्योंकि 9 महीने से जैसे सिंगू बॉर्डर पर, टिकरी बॉर्डर पर किसान बैठे हैं, उन्हें हटा पाना बस में नहीं रहा, तो यहां से हटाना शायद आसान नहीं होगा, क्योंकि किसानों ने साफ कर दिया था कि उनकी मांग जब तक नहीं मानी जाती। मांग क्या थी? आईएएस अफसर, एसडीएम, जिनकी एक वीडियो वायरल हुई थी जिसमें साफ तौर पर वो कह रहे थे पुलिस के अधिकारियों को कि सर फोड़ना है किसानों का, ऐसी वीडियो वायरल हुई, और ऐसे में उसकी डिसमिसल चाहते हैं किसान, और उसके खिलाफ क्योंकि किसान की जान तक चली गई।
जी, डिसमिसल तो चाहते हैं, लेकिन ये पहली बार नहीं है कि किसान इस तरह से इकट्ठे हुए हैं और बैरिकेड्स तोड़े गए हैं, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को हाथ में लिया गया है, पुलिस के साथ टकराव हुआ है, ये पहले भी हुआ है। इनफैक्ट जनवरी 26 रिपब्लिक डे के दिन हम क्या हुआ था ये हम सब ने देखा है, तो कुछ जिम्मेदारी तो फार्मर्स की भी बनती है कि वो हर इश्यू को ऐसे लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के इश्यू में ना बदल दें। इसमें अभी लॉ जो पुलिस है वहां पे ऐसा लग रहा है कि वो अभी कोई एक्शन नहीं ले रहे हैं। उन्होंने तैयारी तो करी थी, लेकिन वो कोई एक्शन अभी फार्मर्स के खिलाफ लेना नहीं चाहते। क्या आपको कुछ सुनने में आ रहा है पुलिस की तरफ से? क्या स्टेप होगा उनका अगला?
देखिए, इससे पहले जो पिछली घटना हुई थी करनाल में, उस वक्त क्या हुआ था? मुख्यमंत्री का समागम था, वहां पे किसानों ने विरोध किया, पुलिस ने उस वक्त लाठीचार्ज किया, दोनों में टकराव हुआ, ऐसी स्थिति पैदा हुई कि कई किसान घायल हुए, कई पुलिसकर्मी घायल हुए, एक किसान की जान तक चली गई। और उसी वक्त की वीडियो की मैं बात कर रहा हूं कि जो आईएएस अधिकारी, एसडीएम, जिनकी वो वीडियो वायरल हुई थी किसानों पर लाठीचार्ज करने के आदेश देने, सर फोड़ने के आदेश देने की, उसी के चलते आज की स्थिति पैदा हुई।
जी।
और आज क्योंकि सरकार ने साफ कर दिया था, प्रशासन को साफ कहा था कि संयम से काम लेना है, शायद वो संयम आज देखने को मिला।
जी, नपिंदर जी, आप हमारे साथ बने रहिए। माय कॉलीग अरुण धाता इज ऑल्सो जॉइनिंग अस लाइव फ्रॉम करनाल. ही हैज बीन ट्रैकिंग द डेवलपमेंट्स, एंड वंस अगेन अरुण, व्हाट वी आर सीइंग इज द सेम ओल्ड स्टोरी. You know, law and order is being taken into hands by the farmers' protesters.
Well, that's right, and we've been saying it since morning that farmers, were completely outnumbered. The cops which were present there on the ground, and ever since police granted them permission to actually march towards the mini secretariat here in Karnal, and then we saw NH44 was completely choked. Even the other routes which were leading to the mini secretariat were also blocked. Farmers have gathered in large numbers from different paths, and therefore their motive was to lay the siege at Mini Secretariat, and at this moment as we speak they have reached at the Mini Secretariat as they have planned to gherav this premises. The talks which happened between the district administration and the farmer leaders were failed. They were saying that they want suspension of the STM, and also FIR should be registered against him, which was not agreed upon, of course, by the district magistrate. And therefore, we've seen, the way farmers came out from the grain market, and in between there was few barricadings which they completely broken. In fact, the police personnel were completely bystanders. We could see from the top angle that
clearly the police is not doing anything, because the moment they do something, then it becomes about police brutality. But clearly the farmers continue to provoke the police and with it the state. We'll leave it at that. Arun, thanks a lot for joining us. Now a massive war of words has erupted after a Namaz room was allocated in Jharkhand Assembly. A similar demand is being made in other states now, including poll-bound Uttar Pradesh. Congress and Hemant Soren-led JMM say there is nothing wrong with this. But Samajwadi Party is distancing itself from the same demand made by its own MLA Irfan Solanki. AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi only quipped, why is Akhilesh Yadav not demanding a Namaz room in Assembly? So why are even so-called secular parties uncomfortable with this demand? Is it because this demand can be seen in contravention of the very secularism they espouse, separation of state and religion, or is it because it reeks of blatant appeasement?
असल में ये सब कहीं ना कहीं तालिबानी सोच से बहुत इंस्पायर हो रहे लोग हैं। ये इस्लामिक स्टेट से इंस्पायर लोग हैं।
मन में अगर आस्था हो, भगवान हो, तो सब जगह
प्रेयर रूम होता है जहाँ पे आदमी जाए अपनी इबादत करे, चाहे वो हमारे हिंदू भाई हों, मुसलमान भाई हों।
Professor D.K. Giri, political analyst, is joining us. Ishkaran Bhandari, lawyer. Shantanu Gupta, author and political analyst. D.K. Giri, let me come to you first up. The Jharkhand Chief Minister says God is everywhere. He is omnipresent. You should have faith. Then why a Namaz room in Jharkhand Assembly?
Demand for a Namaz room, he had provided it in our constitution. Says we have the freedom to practice and profess our religion. And
but in Assembly?
Namaz, offering Namaz is mandated in Islam. So
but
if
in
they
Assembly?
wanted a Namaz room, if you have traveled internationally, Shivani, if you see every airport, there is a prayer room.
Are you comparing Assembly to an airport?
No, I'm not here for the airport. No, I'm talking of the facility. I mean, there's not, don't be frivolous. I gave you an example.
But how is this a relevant example, D.K. Giri?
Yes, it is relevant because Assembly, I'm not saying give it in Assembly. Assembly premises. Assembly
yeah, that's
premises,
the same thing.
Not within the Assembly.
It's state property.
yes,
Whether you do it inside the Assembly where the MLAs sit is not the question here. It is the Assembly premises.
If somebody wants to worship and he needs a room to do namaz or do prayer, the room should be provided.
So then why does the Chief Minister say that God is everywhere? You should have faith. He's obviously saying this for other religions, right? Because there is a demand that there should be a similar prayer room for all religions. Then why only one religion?
Yes, why not? Yes, of course.
Then why is it not there?
You speak to the Chief Minister because he is contradicting himself. If he is saying God is omnipresent, why is he giving a Namaz room? That is his problem. But I am only telling you the constitutional position that everybody has a right to worship.
Sir, constitutional position also is that India is a secular state.
Yes.
Secularism may be a Western concept, but it means that there is a separation of state and religion.
That is not the
Assembly
case in India.
is a state premise.
Shivani, you have got the wrong end of the stick. That is not secularism in India.
No, don't tell me what is secularism in India. I don't think anybody understands what is secularism in India.
I do.
But secularism stands for separation of state and religion.
No.
Why
that
is
in
there a
France.
need for any prayer room
That
in
is not
assembly?
that is in France, but that is where it is originated.
So where
In
did we
India,
take it
equal
from?
Respect to all religions.
No, where did we
Sarva
take it
dharma
from? We
samabhava.
obviously copied a European concept. That's
No,
a separate debate.
We did not copy it. We changed it.
How?
We changed the meaning of secularism in India.
What is
Sarva
the
dharma samabhava.
Yeah.
Why, Shivani, who is running Tirupati temple? Tell me.
The government shouldn't.
Government of Andhra Pradesh. So how is it separate there? Why
So
is
two
Tirupati
wrongs make a
temple-
right?
Sorry?
Two wrongs make a right?
No, that is, see, it is not, I'm not saying it. State can intervene whenever necessary. State has to see that religions are practiced without fear and favor.
So, but what is the
patronizing,
fear
no
and favor?
discrimination.
What is the fear if you don't get to practice in assembly? And you are saying without fear or favor, but if you allocate only a namaz room, not a temple, where there are murtis, for example, for Hindus, then how is it not favorable to one? That's my point.
See, if Hindus demand, they should also get it. But namaz, 5 times namaz is a part of Islam. Hinduism, not such religious mandate is there. But if somebody
No, but
wants
many
a worship
Hindus may
room,
want to pray during the day.
Absolutely, I'm with you. Everybody should be.
So
Christians should be
basically,
given, Hindus should be given.
now we should become one of those countries where inside assembly also, inside premises also, everybody is more focused on praying.
What was Gandhiji doing? What was Mahatma Gandhi doing?
Was he in
Having
assembly?
All 3 religions praying in his
Was
own
he in
room.
Indian parliament?
Every time he
No, but was he in Indian parliament? I am not objecting to prayers. I am saying, why do you need to do it inside assembly? There has to be a
Not
line
inside the
drawn.
assembly.
Is it a
Assembly
temple of
premises.
democracy, or has assemblies and parliament become temples of faith now?
Yes, it could be temples of, our Prime Minister said it is a temple of democracy. So it could be temples of faith as well. We are not separate from the faith. You see, building the Ajodhya temple is a matter of faith. So let us respect our faith. Okay?
So you would be
And
okay.
every religion
You
should be
mentioned
allowed.
Ram temple.
There should be
Let me
one
tell
prayer
you,
room
the
where
very
everybody can
parties that
pray.
espouse secularism, whatever definition they follow, they objected to the Prime Minister, for example, going to the foundation stone laying ceremony of the Ram temple. They said, how can a head of state do it?
Yes, Shivani.
Right, they object to that. But they don't mind. They don't mind a namaz room inside assembly.
I have asserted in your program many times, Shivani, more than once, that secularism is a failed concept in India. What we should
So why
say
don't we
is
remove
pluralism.
it? Why do we
Multi-religious.
pretend to be secular
Yes, it
then?
should be removed from the constitution. It should be a multi-religious society.
We are
pluralist
already a
society.
multi-religious society, sir. I don't think the constitution is telling us. We have lived it. We are living it for thousands of years. Anila Singh of the BJP is also with us.
What is
BK
your
Giri is
problem
here
then? If there is a
saying that
prayer
there
room,
is no problem
don't
with
say
this.
it is a namaz room. Say it is a prayer room. It's
No,
a
but
prayer
they've called
room.
it a namaz room. I am not calling it a namaz room.
No. I mean, that is not acceptable. Hindus can also go into that room and pray. If
No,
they
but
want
how
to
will
pray,
Hindus go into that room and pray? They will need their murtis. Obviously, that will be not fine for Muslims.
They can put a murti there. Why not? It is a prayer room. That's it. Christians can go and pray as well.
Shivani,
Sir, I don't think you understand the basic faith of a Muslim.
my God. My God.
I don't think you understand that.
Professor
Let's not
Giri,
pretend to be too
Professor
secular and too accommodating. It doesn't work. All right, Shantanu wants to come in. Shantanu wants to come in.
Yes,
Shantanu, my
I know
basic
what
question
I was
is,
going to say.
my basic question is, where does this stop? Now people will say, ठीक है, आप एक room Hindus को भी दे दो, एक room Christians को भी दे दो, एक room Jews को भी दे दो.
Same room.
Sir, same room में नहीं होगा, sir. आप समझिए. I don't think you understand.
Mahatma Gandhi did it, Shivani. Look at history. Read
Okay,
your
let me
history.
go across to Shantanu. My point is that
Shivani.
why does this need to creep into assemblies? You dare to make laws. You dare to perform your duties as an MLA or as an MP in parliament.
Don't leave your religion at home. You carry it
See,
everywhere.
Shivani, Professor Giri has made a lot of circular arguments in the last 10 minutes, and he's saying that in the same room all the prayers will happen. Yeah, I'm sure they all heard this famous song, Butt Giraye Jayenge. The whole idea of Islam is against the Murti Puja. They have broken more than 40,000 temples because they don't believe in idols, and having an idol in the room and they're doing namaz.
That will be very offensive to Muslims, actually.
I'm sure that Dr. Giri understands. I think this is after Taliban has captured Afghanistan, I think a lot of politicians are somehow in awe of them and kind of pandering to this advent of Islam. I think this is just a posturing. Oh my God! See, for my Muslim brothers, I'm providing a prayer room. A Namaz Kaksh is a circular issue. TW348 is the room number. See, I don't mind. There can be a Namaz room, there can be a prayer room, there can be a mandir. But again, is that the purpose for assembly? Assembly runs for hardly 5-7 days, thrice in a year, right? For that, you just create. And so that's why I think otherwise it would have been created from quite long. I think the Jharkhand government is there for quite some years. Right now, I think there's a very Talibani culture, and just giving a signal to Muslim people. This I'm standing with my Muslim brothers. It's just a signaling.
So you are saying this is appeasement?
This is just appeasement, which Congress has taught all the parties, and it's part of the government there. Just a signaling.
No, my question also is कि आप गणेश महोत्सव, कृष्ण जन्माष्टमी, दुर्गा पूजा आप सब करेंगे क्या असेंबली में? फिर असेंबली का मतलब क्या है?
कल्चरल हॉल.
ये तो you are destroying the sanctity of what is the seat of state government. कल को आप बोलेंगे पार्लियामेंट में भी करिए. According to our rules, the state is not supposed to be seen favoring any religion or mixing religion with basic legislative work.
Yeah,
Anila Singh of the BJP is also with us.
Just have a prayer room, that is all.
What is the BJP's objection? Because JMM is saying that it's okay, not a big deal. Congress has welcomed it. DK Giri here is saying it's not a big deal.
As a citizen of this country, I can say one thing here, that whether we talk about assembly or whether we talk about parliament, they themselves are temple. So any person who wants to do namaz, then that person can do namaz there and then only. They do not require any specific place. They are not. They do not need any statue or anything. I mean, we have observed that they conduct namaz in parks, on road, inside the train, inside the aeroplane. So if any person wants to do namaz, that person can do there and there only. Assembly चल रही चलने दीजिए साहब, आपको नमाज अदा करनी है, नमाज अदा करिए ना. अच्छा है, आपको फोटो ऑप्टिक्स मिलेंगे, तमाशा बना के रखा हुआ है क्या? नमाज के लिए कमरा खड़ा कर दीजिए, फलाने के लिए कमरा खड़ा कर दीजिए. काम करने जाते हैं असेंबली में या नमाज अदा करने जाते हैं? सीधी सी बात ये है, those who want to politicize everything, those who have a requirement to have a separate room for namaz and other things as well, I think this is absolutely undue requirement, and they must understand one thing very clearly, whether we talk about assembly or we talk about parliament, this is being run by the hard taxpayer money, and we don't want our money to go down the drain. It should be very clear. We are not here to...
So clearly in Uttar Pradesh, this demand is not going to be catered to, as has been raised by at least one Samajwadi party MLA, although the party itself is uncomfortable with that demand. Ishkaran Bhandari, I come to you. I mean, does India as a secular country, as it still is as per our constitution today, can see something like this be allowed? I'm not against a namaz room alone. I'm just saying that then everybody will demand it. Where does this end?
Firstly, as I do not know what the first panelist was speaking, because he does not seem to know the facts of this case. It is specifically named a namaz room, which has a specific connotation and a specific meaning. Mandir is a specific place, Gurdwara is a specific place, mosque is a specific place. So all words have specific meanings. The only word without a specific meaning is secularism in India, which in practice has come to mean, and I have no shyness in saying it, anti-Hindu moves are covered under the garb of secularism, because we would have the governments, including BJP governments, taking over temples like they did in Uttarakhand, but nobody will dare take over a mosque for a government to either do the audit of that mosque or to run that mosque. But whereas temples are daily taken over and their funds, how they are used, we all know that. So let us not talk about secularism in the Indian context. Now let us come to what has happened in the assembly. It's a basic concept of fairness. I won't say a basic concept of secularism because it's not there, that every religion will be treated equally. None would be favored. Either you would do something for everybody or you will do for nobody.
Absolutely.
When you specifically open a room, call it namaz room, then you are doing special favor to one particular
Let me ask you, you are a lawyer, a PIL has been filed against this in court. Do you believe there's a legal argument against this decision?
as I told you, secularism, I don't have much faith in it in the Indian context, how we use it. But it's basic concept of equality, that you will not favor one person or one religion differently from other people you will favor. So while you will not have a gurdwara, a church, a mandir there, same way you cannot have a namaz room there. And that is why I think that this petition should succeed in the court. In fact, it needs to, otherwise we will have the same demand in every assembly and there will be no end to it.
Precisely. That's my question, that where will this end? This is not about, which religion has got a prayer room first. This will become a problem where, these matters will just completely supersede what the business in assembly is.
No, and then you need to have it in every government building for government officers.
Precisely.
Where would it stop? Why only assembly? Every government building you need to have a separate room then. Then hospitals you need to have separate room then. Then where does it stop? So that is why, while we all have a right to practice, profess religion, propagate religion, it does not mean that you will start doing it and having special rooms for only one religion in government buildings. That is not secularism.
Okay, D.K. Giri, let me give you 30 seconds again. Yeah. Has the Jharkhand government made a big faux pas and actually, committed, what one can say, an action against the basic tenets of constitution by going ahead with this?
Well, the gentleman said I didn't know the facts. I know the facts and he doesn't know the facts. Even the mosques have been demolished and he doesn't have the list. He only remembers the temples. So that is another matter. And the other lady was saying the taxpayers' money is being wasted. How much was the parliament disrupted this time? Never mind. To answer your question, I did not support a namaz room. I said a prayer room. I said a prayer room. The parliament was disrupted not because of namaz room.
Sir, you are saying prayer room, but it is not a prayer room in Jharkhand.
So
it is a namaz room. That's why we are discussing
it.
I
did not say namaz room. So
but we are discussing the namaz room in Jharkhand. Let me give 20 seconds to Shantanu too.
Fair enough. If that is not wrong, as I said in the beginning.
20 seconds to Shantanu.
I think, Shivani, this Namaz Kaksh with the exact name as mentioned in this government order is totally appeasement politics. I doubt they have any weight, any intent around it, and they just want to have a Pandora box. As Ishkaran said, then every government building, every hospital, every school, the demand will never end. I think once it hit the court, I think they will settle the case.
Okay, I have to leave it at that. Larger question is one, the assemblies and parliaments are temples of democracy. Let's keep them as that. Let's not go down this slippery slope where everyone then begins to make demands. Everyone's religion is important. Everyone has certain compulsions and everybody wants to practice their religion. But there is a time and place for everything. We'll leave it at that. Thanks a lot for watching.